My name's Aish Ravi. I graduated from Caulfield Grammar School in 2008 and I went to Caulfield campus. So I found it, a little bit a lot different coming to Caulfield Grammar School. We had to wear a uniform and there's a lot of rules and structure in place. But I was really happy and pleased that they had quite a strong sports program, and that's really what attracted me to the school. And that's really where I found my place within the school as well, is within their sports teams, and more specifically their soccer team and tennis team. I loved playing soccer there, and that's probably one of my most memorable moments was from being part of that soccer team. So I was fortunate enough to be on the first team when I first went to Caulfield in my first year, and then was fortunate enough to captain the first soccer team in my final years at the school. And I loved it. And in particular, we had a coach, Mona Anderson at the time. Was probably the only woman coach I've ever had, and she's left a lasting impact on my life and, in terms of what I'm doing now. I definitely look back to those times and reflect on how important and how fortunate I was to have such an awesome role model. Yeah, so once I finished at Caulfield, I went and studied a commerce degree at Monash and majored in marketing, management and economics. So they were some of my passions, and I went on to working as a market analyst in the automotive industry after finishing that degree. And I realised it really wasn't what I thought it would be. Yeah, so that's really what led me to pursue a profession that's more working with people, and that's what led me to teaching. Yeah, so while I was working as a market analyst, I was very, I started my Master of Teaching, again, through Monash, but it was only when we were required to undertake placement at an actual school that I realised, well, schools are pretty awesome, and I really enjoyed working at a school. I couldn't believe people actually got paid to work with students. And through actually being a teacher, one of the prerequisites or requirements as a teacher was to undertake a co-curricular activity. And so through, again, being a teacher, I chose football, soccer, as that was something that was I had a lot of experience as a student playing, as a player, and I loved being part of a football team. So I was actually in charge of coaching the first girls soccer team at this school that I was working at, and they actually invested in me to do my C licence, which is the first coaching course in the advanced licence coaching system. And so I undertook that course, and while undertaking that course, but also while coaching within this football team, I noticed that there was a lot of inequities that existed. There was a lack of women, and I really wanted to know why. And so that's what led me to undertake a PhD. So trying to understand, where are the women coaches, and trying to understand the progressions of the existing coaches of the women that coach in community and elite pathways in football in Australia. So I'm currently in my final year of that, and while completing my PhD, I've also founded the Women's Coaching Association, and I'm on the board of Football Australia, their Women's Council, and also Football Coaches Australia. So trying to learn as much as I can, but also make change in the process of undertaking research in this space. One of the main things about the Women's Coaching Association is just trying to empower, encourage and support women coaches at all levels. So one of the things is attracting women coaches to various sports, as a lot of sports currently, they are finding it quite difficult to attract women. But once we attract women, we also want to keep them. So developing strategies, educational platforms, just to further develop coaches in order to stay in certain sports, but also to educate sport organisations of the current issues and barriers that limit women coaches' progression. So that's really the basis of the Women's Coaching Association. We're more like of an advocacy group, just trying to create awareness and also encourage sport organisations to make change to better support their coaches. I think the CGA is doing awesome work in just trying to connect with past, alumni, and just trying to understand what we're doing, life after school, and also see how we can give back to the current cohort. So I've currently done some reverse mentoring with some students, but also sharing some of my experiences, and currently as a student, but also experiences now after leaving Caulfield back with the community. So yeah, I've encouraged CGA to keep going and keeping up the awesome work, and very fortunate that I'm even asked to be a part of it and give back. I mean, for me as a student, I remember everyone used to say, do something that you enjoy and never work a day in your life. And I loved that, but I also used to get quite frustrated because I was like, I don't know what I enjoy. But for me at the time, I knew that I loved sport, but I didn't really see a future in sport. And so that's probably what led me to kind of go on a detour. But ultimately, I've gone back to that because it's something that I really enjoy and I find quite effortless working in that space. So I definitely encourage students to break the mold and those stereotypes that currently exist. And if you have to create your own path, then do so, because it can be quite rewarding in the end.